Welcome back to the stream. We are hopefully getting the game screen. There we go. We are going to continue where we left off yesterday and talk to Amzel, go to the U-Band to the OTK international offices, pay Alice, those type of things. We have not a lot of money. We're going to go into the safe house, figure out what we're going to do. Right, they wanted to talk to me. We'll get to them in a second. The screen flickers to life and Mallet's face appears. She wears a plastic smile. Boy again, pal. Well, I've recovered one last DVD for you, but I'm afraid that's all you're gonna get. You might as well use the rest as coasters. They're beyond repair. Hey, Sam. You look at the table beside your DVD player, you'll find the disc that I salvaged. She pauses. A slight frown crosses her face. Being honest, that was a lie. To recover this last disc, I was forced to subcontract. Scrotty is still a brute of a man. I'm unimpressed with his manner, and his poor hygiene disgusts me. But he's very good with old things, such as this. All credit's where it's due. Okay. Is there anything we can sell? No. So I want to just quickly look through the Shadowland. Looking at this. Okay. We're just gonna quickly, I'm just looking through this stuff. I don't think any of these really have like anything. They're just irrelevant side stories. Cool. Mr. Fouche Tapau. No sense in mincing words. Your performance was satisfactory at best. Your fee will be transferred immediately. Enjoy it while it lasts, because you'll never work for us again. Cool. Alice wanted the document. Just have this one, the sabotage run. Oh, I wanted to check the Alice ones real quick. It is world building stuff. So we only need 10 grand. I've burned quite a few bridges. It's fine, I don't care. So only 10 grand. It's not bad. Watch the 4th video. This is it, the interview. Took some digging to find it, but here he is, my big brother, back in his prime. The note disappears, and for a moment the screen goes blank. Suddenly an image of a news correspondent flashes on the screen, accompanied by a brief orchestral flourish. Thank you for joining us. We are coming to you live from the ruins of Sangerhausen, the 5th hardest mountain town to be sacked by the Dragon Firewing. Standing by me is the head of Dial Defense, Dr. Adrian Vauclair. Dr. Vauclair has been hailed as the leader in the effort to bring down Firewing and end her reign of terror. Dr. Vauclair, tell us about your efforts to bring the dragon down. Killing the monster has proven difficult, to say at least. Maneuverability in the air her speed and maneuverability in the air are extraordinary. Her scales repel small arms fire, and her breath can melt steel. Our R&D teams have been working around the clock to devise a weapon capable of downing the beast. In the interim, we are providing material support for the Luftwaffe's attempts to shoot her down via conventional means. Mr. Vauclair, why are you directing Dial's defense energies to killing a Firewing? Are there corporate interests at this in play? Corporate interests? No, this is a matter of human interest. Innocent lives are being extinguished at an appalling rate, and I am in a position to help put an end to the slaughter, so I must. It is really that simple. Dr. Vauclair, you understand my skepticism. Our viewers aren't looking for a PR statement. They come to us for the truth. I'm afraid that I don't have time to go back and forth on this. Viewers can think whatever they wish. My concern is helping the people affected by this tragedy. In that case, Mr. Vauclair, I thank you for sharing your valuable time with us. You're welcome. To the viewers at home, stay safe and watch the skies. Salvation is coming, I promise. Again, that was Dr. Adrian Vauclair, CEO of Dial Defense. Dr. Vauclair is the chief architect of the military's current plan to bring down the Dragon Firewing. Stay tuned for more late-breaking news on the battle for the Harz Mountains. We'll be right back. Scene number 2. I just stumbled across some of Adrian's old lab notes. I'm not going to say how I came across these. Someone might get hurt if the wrong people watch this. But I've checked them against some of Adrian's old handwriting samples, and they're legitimate. This is big. Alright, back up, slow down, breathe. He takes a moment to calm himself. Okay, so these notes, they pretty much confirm something I've always suspected. The Luftwaffe didn't shoot down Firewing. I mean, they tried. They pumped thousands of rounds into the air around her. They lobbed rockets at her for months, lost a lot of attack helicopters and firecraft in the process. But none of them were responsible for taking her down. The Dragonfall was caused by an experimental warhead, one that Adrian and his defense think tank designed. I don't understand the science of it, not even a little bit. But from what I can piece together, looks like they designed some sort of chemical radiological agent that acts on the metagene. I don't think that they fully understood what they were doing. It was 2012 after all. I mean, the process worked, but I don't think they understood why it worked. Anyway, when a warhead full of this stuff comes into contact with a dual-natured creature, like a dragon, say, it drives a wedge between the creature's physical and astral forms. The body gets put into sort of hibernation state, and the spirit is forced out. It looks like this process can maintain that state of separation indefinitely, and that's a pretty horrifying thought. A discorporated body is supposed to die in a few hours. I've heard horror stories about ghost-walking mages getting trapped in an astral plane. Unable to rejoin with their meat, I heard they went crazy from the pain. From what I'm reading is accurate, it's entirely possible that Firewing has been trapped outside of her body for over 40 years. Witcher pushes his chair back and slaps the table in front of him. This is why Adrian was so cagey about the subject of Firewing after the Dragonfall. He knew for a fact that she was alive, even if only technically. Her body crashed down in the SOX, sure, but she wasn't dead. The government wouldn't let Adrian tell the public about any of this, of course. It interfered with the lie that they were feeding us, that Firewing was dead, and that everyone was safe, and the people should stop hiding in their basements and get back to work again. Privately, he always said that she was still out there, somewhere deep in the SOX. I always thought that he was paranoid, but I was wrong. He knew. So what does this all mean? It means that the stories I got from the Ghost Rats suddenly sound a lot more plausible. It means Firewing is definitely alive, and Adrian's disappearance is questionably tied to her survival. It also means that Germany is in some trouble, because if Firewing is still alive, it's only a matter of time before she rears her ugly head again. Okay, that's enough for one night. I'm gonna get drunk. Look, Adrian, I understand you. Lords know I do, but you've got to drop this dragon fixation. People are starting to talk. There is a camera cut, and you find yourself looking at young, handsome Dr. Adrian Vauclair. He wears a slight smile on his face. Oh, they're talking, are they? What a terrible shame. Darn it, Adrian. This is serious. You're a public figure. You could lose everything if you keep these ridiculous fairy tales to yourself. You don't keep these ridiculous fairy tales to yourself. For me, my theories are not, as you call them, fairy tales. Dragons are real. I saved Germany from one. Have you forgotten? No, of course not. Everyone knows that you killed Firewing. Stopped. Not killed. Fine, stopped, whatever. Winter swaps a bottle off the table in front of him, drains it, and drops it to the floor. Call it whatever you want, but Adrian, you're the only one who's still obsessed with this thing. There aren't many of them, and they're not taking over the world. Vauclair's voice is quiet, soft. Such is the cry of the cancer patient, unaware of what's killing him. I'm fine. Not to worry. I'll smoke another cigarette. What's the harm? He doesn't see what's happening, but he winds up dead all the same. Winter snorts. Now you're just being maudlin. Look, Adrian. Vauclair shakes his head, and his smile disappears. You mark my words, Hermie. Within 5 years, corporations, even countries, will fall to these creatures, and the worst part is nobody will care. Well, people will tut-tut about it. There may be a protest or two. Nobody will actually do anything to stop them. The immortal, all-powerful, utterly pitiless reptiles will seize more and more of our power, wealth, and territory, and we foolish, short-sighted mortals will never get it back. He chuckles uncomfortably, raises his hands in the air in a supplicating gesture. Come on now, Claire talks over his brother's interruption. We could solve the problem, of course, but we, as a species, are unwilling to invest our energies into problems that aren't staring us right in the face. As it was with climate change, so it is with dragons. I've accepted that, but you can't ask me to stop caring about it. Winter shakes his head. You're hopeless, Adrian. Fine, by all means, keep caring. You just keep your conspiracy theories to yourself. I'm telling you this for your own sake. Claire slides. He looks incredibly tired. Yes, for me. You're right, of course. I mustn't jeopardize my credibility with the masses. Winter's expression turns serious, his voice loiters. It's not about your credibility that I'm worried about. Talk is talk, but sometimes he shakes his head. He pauses, shakes his head. Sometimes I worry that you're really going to go back into the SOX. Claire's tone softens again. Hermie, I. Winter cuts his brother off, and new intensity burns in his voice. Please, brother. Please, big brother. Just drop all of this. Stop hunting the Firewing and start living your life again. If you don't do it for yourself, then do it for me. He nods and looks away from the screen. All right, Hermie. I'll try. Meet and mate singles dating profile. Jolly Green Winters. Human, Caucasian, 50. Looking for a female, human, elf, dwarf, athletic, 25 to 30. A fun-loving guy who's a great listener. I love hiking, clubbing, and all kinds of pets. I'm looking for a cute, funny, adventurous girl who's down to party. I don't respond to profiles without pics. No orcs, no trolls. Sorry, ladies. That is an experience. I mean, I guess that's a way to get people to, Shadowrunners or whatever, to get in contact with them, is to do something like that. As you step forward, the rest of your team falls silent. Ansel shifts his attention to you. You can see worry on his face. How? I have new information. I'm afraid the news isn't good. Tell me. He nods. Yes, there's something you all need to hear. We'll go on. We're listening. Orcs could be cute. I saw, like, in the first game, there was a couple orcs that I was like, yeah, that's a cute orc. 2 years ago, a shipment of highly lethal radioactive bioweapon disappeared en route to a storage facility in Dresden. The weapon then was designated X-15. I traced the path of the missing shipment. It was delivered to Harfield Manor. That sounds horrible. It is. I've heard this stuff before. Back in Surface, we call it Doom. I've never run across it in wild, but I heard enough horror stories to know that I don't want to. The stories that you've heard are correct. This Doom is an extremely dangerous substance. He gestures to a technical document on his computer's display. I've been reading up. To this day, the story of Doom remains a cautionary tale in biotech circles. Monoclonal antibody technology is strictly regulated now. And this substance is one of the reasons why. What does this stuff do exactly? He clears his throat and reads aloud from the information on screen. Doom kills by destroying a host's muscle tissue via radioactive decay. Each individual Doom antibody is bound to a radioactive bismuth 212 isotope. When introduced into a host, these antibodies bind to the surface-level muscle tissue. The tissue is then killed with alpha radiation. This process repeats itself until the host wastes away and dies. Eager nods grimly. I've heard that Doom was deployed in a couple of border skirmishes back in 41. After seeing what it did to people up close up, the UCAS passed a unilateral ban on this stuff. It doesn't tell you how bad it is. Nothing will. Okay, so I hesitate to ask, but what would a dragon want with this drug? Nothing good. That goes without saying. The development worries Pow. It worries me greatly. Yeah, if they're stockpiling bioweapons, we've got a bigger issue on our hands. There's a moment of silence, then Dietrich picks up. Well, in my book, this doesn't change anything. I mean, it ups the stakes if the Firewing's allowed to carry out her plans, whatever those might be. We're going to stop her before that happens. That was always the plan. As far as I'm concerned, it's still the plan now. I agree with Dietrich. We need to focus on what's in front of us. Whatever the dragon's larger plans might be, the fact is that she is after us. We shouldn't let ourselves get distracted by anything else. Amsel is slow to respond. Finally, he nods. Yes, I concur. For the time being, we must continue forward. That means that you must continue working towards raising Alice's fees. We're getting there. We really are. I leave the matter in your capable hands, pal. When you acquire... Excuse me, I'm sorry. I have a slight cold. When you've acquired the necessary funds that are ready to head back out to the rabbit hole, let me know. From there, we'll discuss our next steps. Eager nods. Good. If you need me, I'll get him prepped for the next run. Right behind you, love. He casts a backward glance at Glory. Glory, if any of this had an impact on her, she doesn't show it. Come on, Glory, let's go. Well, it's not like... Why did it save my game? That's a bit crazy. So we still have to finish the U-Ban. And we only need 10,000 more. We're seriously pretty close. No new messages. Let's see if Glory has anything to say. Hi, pal. I gotta admit, I've been dreading this. So, now that you know what I've done, what I am, are you here to tell me off? I wouldn't blame you if I would. No, Glory, I'm not here to tell you off. The truth be told, I wanted to check in and see how you were doing. Not great, struggling, and about how you'd expect. You left off in a bad place last time. I've been thinking about your story and I have some questions for you. Yeah, what is it? You got out of your cell, but Harrow's... Oh, right, fire pit. But Harrow's cult is still up and running, right? Still full of kids who are being brainwashed and worse. Shouldn't we do something about this? She holds her silence for a long time. Finally, she nods. Yes. I've been thinking about this for a long time, pal, and every time that I've gotten close to making a decision, I've turned and run away again. No more running. I'm ready to face this thing, but I can't do it alone. I'm gonna need your help. Glad we're on the same page. Alright, if we're gonna do this, we need to clear our own... What are our... blah... words. If we're going to do this, we need to be clear what our goal is. There are a lot of innocent people in the place. Lots of street kids who got sucked in by Marta and the other girls like her. Saving them won't be easy, but it feels like the right thing to do. But then there's also Harrow to consider. I want the man dead. Lord knows he deserves it. And if we don't make killing him our top priority, he might get away from us. If that happens, if he runs, he'll eventually start up another cult somewhere else, where we can't find him. And all of this will be for nothing. We'll likely run into other complications as well, so I think we need to make a decision here up front. What would you do in my place? Rescue the kids or take down Harrow? I don't think we can manage both. See, this is the issue. You want to stop the cult, but you want to save the kids. I think we need to wipe out the cult. Harrow needs to die, and I don't want any other kids hurt or killed, but Harrow has to pay for what he did to me. She stops, as if suddenly unsure of herself. A moment later, a newfound confidence seems to seize her. She looks to you, and there's fire in her eyes. He has to pay for what he did to all of us. I won't let this happen again. She nods. I'll see you there. Cool. We're gonna kill the dude. Do I have inventory? What is in my inventory? Oh, good. I have some good things in my inventory. She glances up from P to D at the sound of the approach. Pal, this isn't the best of times. Her body language is self-assured, but you can hear anxiety and force. Something has worried her in a big way. If something's put you on the edge, I want to know. Finally, she turns her PDA so that you can look at the screen. The image greets you with a hollow pic of a rail-thin orc with jet black hair. Who am I looking at? His name is Yuli Kozlov, but he's better known by his handle, the Engineer. He's a mercenary, ex-Spetsnaz, one of his best in the field. I ran up against him in my KSK days. Tell me more. His specialties are social engineering and wet work. In practice, he spends most of his time paving the way for organized crime syndicates to seize new territory. He sets up brides, takes up key members of the opposition, and forges alliances with existing street gangs. All of the groundwork that a syndicate needs. He's extremely bad news, pal. And my contact spotted him in Shadowrun? Yeah, it's a little bit too close to Cruise Bazaar. Exactly. I've seen what Engineer can do up close. My KSK unit tracked him a few years ago. I had him in the sight of my rifle, but I was ordered to hold fire. We can't afford to give away our position. We couldn't afford to give away our position. To this day, I reject obeying that order. I saw what happened to the town that he softened up after the syndicate moved in. Now I have to stop him, before it's too late. What happened to the town? It can't be allowed to happen to Shatternest. Agreed. Do we know what he's looking for? The safest bet would be the Russian syndicate, but there's no telling. His client list is longer than you expect. Got any examples? Well, I know for a fact that he worked for the mafia groups operating inside and outside of Russia, and he put in a lot of time with the Lubetsky syndicate? I have no clue. He's taken contact with the Triads as well. My contacts tell me that he's done a few jobs for Temeris. So, what do? We stop him. Or rather, I stop him. She looks you in the eye. I can't ask you to put our mission for this, but the engineer has to be stopped, so I'm gonna have to disappear for a run or two. I know how important it is for us to resolve the Firewing situation, I get it, but I can't sit back and let it happen. She shakes her head. I won't. If Cruz Bazaar is at risk, it's too important a job to rest on the shoulders of one person. I'm going with you, end of story. Alright, Fearless Leader, you're right. I could use the help, but the others, they can't know about this. This is going to have to be a quiet job. 2 people max. You're sure you're prepared for this? I can't... If you can't hold up your end, you'll be better off. I'll be better off on my own. Don't worry about me, I'm solid. Yeah, I know you are. Grab your things and meet me at Der Windkiller. I've got a contact who's gonna join us there, and he can help figure us our next step. Done. So we got 2 party missions. Let's talk to Dietrich and see if we get another party mission, and if not, whatever. What's new? I thought we already did this. The Dragon Slayer wanted me to fight a real enemy, so I left the band behind and turned to the shadows, he shrugs. I don't know. I guess I figured that'd be one of the best ways to find one. Considering current events, I'd say you're not wrong about that. Yeah, I guess not. Feels kind of daunting, truth be told, but it's exciting all at the same time. Been looking for a worthy adversary for a while now. It's kind of satisfying, having a white whale to chase. How long have you been looking? Not too long, ever since I took down the last one. Of course, I might be able to sit through feeling pleased with myself if I followed the Creator or the Moon Maiden, but the Dragon Slayer ain't that kind of idol. If I'm not drinking, I'm fighting, and if I'm not doing either of those things, I'm looking for a bigger, better fight to get in next time. He produces a flask from his jacket pocket and raises it in salute. It's a remarkable simple code to live by. It was the last one. Gang boss, a great big orc guy called the Windsure Wind? I don't know. Led the local chapter of the Horde. I had my sights set on him for a while. They'd hurt a lot of people. I figured they posed a challenge. I wasn't wrong about that, but I took him out in the end. When does this pattern end? Well, boss, the way I figure it, it'll end when I pick a fight that I can't win. He smiles sadly. Might be this one, maybe the next one. It'll be hard to top a great dragon. But that's the way the Dragon Slayer wants it, and who am I to refuse him? Abruptly, he turns away. That's enough talk for today, boss. Besides, you've got other things to do, I'm sure. Really? Hey boss, you need something? Any updates on Alexander? Nothing new, boss. He's adjusting. It's going to take some time. I was thinking about what you told me earlier. You said your idol was going to make you pick a fight that you couldn't win. He shrugs. It's bound to happen eventually, probably sooner than later. Isn't there something you can do to stop this from happening? Well, I suppose I could refuse, but that probably wouldn't be a great idea, especially not now. Remember, boss, the Dragon Slayer is where my magic comes from. Turn away from him, you better believe that he'll turn away from me. Besides which, I don't even know if I can refuse him anymore. He's been with me for so long, I don't know where he stops and I begin. He grins at you. Don't worry about me, boss. I've known that this was coming my entire life, and when it happens, I'll go down in a blaze of glory, like the witch you can't even imagine. That's a promise. What if you were to pick a fight with a different kind of dragon, say maybe a gang or a corporation? He pauses for a moment. That's an interesting idea. If it were big enough and heinous enough, he might be satisfied. I've never tried to bargain or negotiate with the Dragon Slayer before. I'm not sure how I feel about it, and I don't know how he'd take it either. The Dragon Slayer doesn't like to be questioned, and his temper is even shorter than mine. I'll tell you what, boss, I'll think about it. You can't really believe that your idol wants you to commit suicide. Of course not. The Dragon Slayer doesn't want me to die, but he does want me to kill dragons. That ain't supposed to be safe or easy. It's not my idol's fault that I'm getting too old to keep up with his wishes. Any thoughts? It's gross. Okay, nothing now. I want to see if he has some thoughts on... I don't care about Samuel or him. I was hoping he'd have some comments about Simi. I mean, he did not. His eyes widen when he sees the drone that you're carrying. He looks anxious. Hey, Chief, how's it going? Found this drone in the hotel vault. Does it belong to you? Yeah, Chief, that's mine. I didn't want to say anything at the time since it was my idea to have you loot the vault in the first place. What was it doing in there? It's my personal drone. Good to have something to hide behind when you're on a solo decking run, you know? Lester took it from me when she seized control of the place, and I've been hoping to get it back ever since. I gotta say, it hurt me to see her all banged up. Looked like Lester had a few of her goons take turns on her with a baseball bat. Looks like you've got her up and running again. How'd you manage that? Mallet fixed it. Score, so can I have it back? Sure. I didn't see the point of keeping the drone. How you doing? Everything's great. That's what he always says. Let your guard down. Do you have any other... No. So they're just the same questions that I always ask him. I feel like there's no character development for him. The POW Civic Center. I love it. Nope. No other questions? If Lane has anything to say. Lane looks like he's mostly recovered from whatever happened the other day. A few butterfly stitches keep closed the lacerations on his face, and his damaged prosthetic looks to be functioning normally once again. What brings you around today? Wanna hear what happened about the other day. The old soldier glowers, and given his physical handicap and recent injuries, he hardly makes for intimidating figure, troll size notwithstanding. Hang my hoop. I'm not a child woman. I'm not helpless. Yeah, no, I know. I do need to talk to her. I was gonna go talk to her, but I just wanted to see if he had anything to say about her. And even if I was, leave me whatever fate I've earned it. Who was it? Someone who heard an unfounded rumor, a rumor about me joining the ORC, presumably favored Poly Club among us trogs. Maybe he was humanist, or maybe just another Flux fanatic who thought the balance of power would be upset by me joining the ORC. I don't know, I don't care. I just want to be left alone. What do they want? He wanted to dissuade me from lending my voice or experience to any pro-metahuman parties. I tried to talk him down, tried to explain my fighting days are done, but he wouldn't believe me. He made a liar of me when I beat him with my crutch. Will they be back? Not if they know what's good for them. Last time they caught me alone, taking a shortcut through an alley. I won't make that mistake again. Sticking close to home and close to Samuel and his police. Oh, and his people. They won't shy away from a fight. Alright. I hear more about the Europe Wars. He was a colonel in the Finnish army during the First Year War. Jaeger Brigade was his. For decades, we used ATVs, Nausus, and bandwagons, mostly. Slow lumbering things, but built for snow of the Lapland. Was the one who changed all that, moving us over to T-birds. I made us fast and nimble. The Russians were still slow, and though they had us outnumbered in a gun, we had run circles around them. Not sure when, I'm not sure who, but the comparison was made to Rommel. Arctic Fox followed soon after. But I don't celebrate the title. Far too many young soldiers died under the command of the Arctic Fox. This is why some ask me to fight, and this is why I refuse. So he killed a lot of people died. It's sad, but that's generally how war works. Hey, she's right here. No, she's not right there. This is where she belongs. She's not there. That's not good. Where's Simi? Nope, that doesn't help me either. Is she missing? Like, I don't understand. I'm gonna talk to Kami and see if she knows anything. Hey there. It was telling me you were around. I was wondering if you might be willing to trade a story. What are you looking for? We've already talked about this. Doesn't help me. Nope. There's no information there. I want to see if I can get haste 2, maybe? Haste 3. Ooh. Really, I'm looking for haste 2. I realized I could get an acid bolt 3. That's amazing. Acid bolt 3. Gun. Cool. Bun. The Bernie. Heal. I don't really need the bigger heal. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty mad. I just wasted all my time and my skills on decking. Just don't need it. Doesn't work the way I wanted it to anyways. the other game gave me so much more karma, and this game doesn't give me, like, anything in the means of karma. So, like, it's just a bit frustrating, I guess. We're gonna go help, what's her face? Glory. And we're gonna do Eager's thing. After Glory, we're gonna check back up to see if she's there. Well, depends. Yeah, I don't want to go in there just yet. Yeah, I wish decking worked a bit differently, too. It feels like a crutch having them in my party, but I need their skills to get into things. And I think that's a bit stupid. Okay, let's go to the van. Got some good spells. I have some other stuff. Given Glory, Haste 2 is just gonna be Insanity. Got my group gear. She has her group gear. I think we're pretty good. Oh. Gonna be experience. Okay, she has the flashbang still. Cool. Well, let's not die, guys. Because this one, from what I was reading, if Glory dies, that's it. You can lose her here. The weather edifice of the fireplace, fire pit, looms above you, the dark sinister in the chill night air. Despite the horrifying stories Glory told you about this place, something about it feels strangely comforting. Back of your mind, hideous voice whisper that you could stay here forever. Do you feel it? The lure of this place? Glory gestures with a limb of chrome and steel. When I was a kid, when I was whole, the pull was irresistible. Yeah, I can feel it. It's almost pleasant. It's meant to be. That's how it gets to you. Worms your way inside of you, changes you, and you don't even realize what's happening until it's too late. She looks at you again, her eyes are dark. When she speaks again, her voice is quiet but steady. You're going to see some terrible things here, pal. Fireplace, I can't remember, exists to prey on the young, and we're going to have to come face to face with that. Are you sure you're prepared for this? I'm ready as I'm going to be. She studies your face a moment longer and looks away. Good. You want to compare notes to make sure we're both on the same page? She nods. We take Harrow out of commission. You were right when you said we couldn't afford to let him live, even if we completely destroyed this place. It'd be all for nothing if he got away. You'd just start another cult somewhere else. This is your run. I'm just here to help you. So what do you want to do first? We'll make our way inside and take out the shrine that Harrow uses for his power focus. Fire pit. Thank you. We can't touch him while that thing is standing, but after we bring it down, he'll be vulnerable. Okay. It's a lump of rock that's about as tall as I am, inscribed with runes and encrusted with bone. Excuse me. The shrine's power comes from an entity the Harrow bonded into the stone. Something very old, very dangerous, a toxic spirit. In many ways, it's the heart of this place. We can't touch Harrow while the shrine is intact. If we try, he'll siphon enough power from it to slaughter us where we stand. But if we confront the shrine and kill the spirit, the astral backlash from its death will cripple him, and all we'll have to do is finish him off. Kill the spirit, cripple Harrow, take him down. Let's go. She nods, and the razors flick out of her fingertips. I'm with you. Let's do it. Cool. I'm gonna drink some water, and then we're gonna start. I'm gonna try and keep Glory safe. We're gonna move up to this door. We're gonna save real quick. And then we're gonna wreck face. Hopefully. You hear murmuring sounds coming inside the room. Or maybe 3 or 4 people talking amongst themselves. You can't make out what they're saying, but one of them voices sounds desperate. You've heard the tone before. It's the sound of a man pleading for his life. You should keep moving. Sounds like somebody's in trouble. I don't doubt it, but we're here to kill Harrow, not the people he's being brainwashed. Okay, Glory, you win. Let's go kill Harrow. And I'm sorry, guys. I'd rather save every single one of you, but I can't. Oh no, I can't get through that. Glory stares into the light, frowning. The shrine room is through there. But this barrier wasn't here before. Harrow must have boarded the door after I ran. Now what? The ward is a lock. There must be a key. Back when I helped Harrow run this place, he and I were the only ones allowed in the shrine room, so we look for whatever has taken my place, and where the key will be. How will we know who it is? It'll be a girl. Harrow will never take a male as a second. He wouldn't want the competition, and her hair will be fire red. It's sort of an insignia rank within the cult. Girl with red head. Got it. I guess we open this door? Kick open the door, man. I'm not living this life. We gotta find this girl, we gotta take her out. Hey, not bad. I'm gonna press this. I'm gonna save. Step toward the Perch Ranger's eyes are wide, and they move from Glory to the scene of carnage in the room. It takes a moment to realize that Glory isn't following you. You turn to find her standing in place, staring at the bodies of the slaughtered acolytes. Her expression is unreadable. That'd be no Glory. They would have killed him. Back when I lived here, I would have too. She looks away. All that we've done is trade 2 innocent lives for 1. Blame Harrow, not me. Yeah. The Ranger staggers forward and collapses to his knees. He's bleeding in dozens of places from long, shallow wounds. The blood pours from his body in sheets, pooling his slick on the hard way. I don't know who you are, but thank you. He grimaces and clasps a hand on his left forearm, blood oozing between his fingers. The monsters were going to bleed me out. They took turns cutting me, carving me up like a holiday roast. Can you patch him up, Glory? I can fix him. He'll need a trip to the hospital, but I can get him on his feet. She goes to work binding the park ranger's wounds. Within a few minutes, she stomped the worst of the bleeding. Thank you. He struggles back to his feet. I think I can make it out of here on my own. My truck isn't far from here. When you get to the hospital, people are going to have questions. What are you going to tell them? He stares at Glory for a moment. What do you want me to say? Tell him whatever you like. By this time tomorrow, this place won't exist anymore. If that's what you want. He limps forward a few steps forward, looks back at Glory. I owe you my life, Bralin. I owe you both. Glory steals another glance at the dead cultist. She looks back at the ranger and gives him a curt nod. When they took me, they confiscated my gear. I saw them stash it in a vent in the garage before they dragged me in here. I don't need it. It'll only slow me down. I'll take it. Thanks. Let's look on the Trivid. What's on the Trivid? It's unbelievable how little things have changed. I remember stealing this for Harrow, the owner. Well, he didn't need any more. I remember how proud Harrow was. How loved I felt. He was using you. You know it. Of course he was, but he could have have done it if I hadn't allowed myself to be used. She turned away from the trivid player and walks past you. Let's keep moving. Okay. I don't know. I felt like I needed to save them. I don't care. We're looking for a specific person and might as well see if they're in that room. I'm just literally gonna just bust down every door. I don't care. Can't make up the words, but regular choruses of rough laughter tell you that there are people on the other side are enjoying themselves. Could the girl be in here? Yes, it's a definite possibility. When I was Harrow's second, I practically lived in that room. What is it, a dorm, a lounge, or something? You could call it that. A special place for Harrow's inner circle, the acolytes and the bait girls and Harrow's wives. Marta and I used to spend a lot of time in there. Well, we're going in. Ow. Ow. Not too bad. I was gonna heal herself. Move to that ley line. And Glory is gonna say, I'm done with you. Take these guys out. Or miss. A dirty and torn shirt lies discarded on the ground, the fabric spattered with blood. Glory stares down at unblinking. Initiate must have worn that in here. It's way too small for an acolyte. Her voice is soft and sad. Maybe he did something to offend Harrow, or maybe a member of the inner circle was in the mood for sport. Doesn't matter either way. The owner of the shirt doesn't need it anymore. How much life does Glory have right now? Glory's fine. Good. Hanging on the wall, you find a grainy photograph that has been mounted to a wooden panel. The wood looks like it was recovered from a construction site. It's rough, splintery stuff, and there's a few nails jutting out from odd angles. The photo depicts a pair of teenage girls in ratty clothes, posing against a forested backdrop. The two are entwined, a loving embrace. One is leaning into the plant, a kiss on the other's cheek. The other one is smiling. The smiling girl has a head of red fire. It takes a moment to realize what you're looking at. The redhead girl is Glory. In this picture, she looks vibrant, happy, and alive. You don't recognize the other girl's face, but from what Glory has told you, you guess that it's probably Marta. She stares at the photo. Her face is devoid of expression. After a moment, she closes her eyes. Is that photo of you? Yes, taken during the early days, shortly after I arrived. Here, Harrow was holding the camera. He told us how sweet we were and how happy he was to have us here. The place, these people, I loved them so much. What a fool was I. A glint of light catches something small and delicate hanging from the nails in the wood. Leaning in, you see a thin ring braided of silver wire. You know anything about the ring? Marta gave it to me on the day that this photo was taken. She said that she made it for me. I left it behind when I left this place. Maybe Marta still has feelings for you. Haven't you been paying attention? Marta never cared about me. She was bait. It was her job to lure me in. Me and 100 other kids like me. The ring doesn't mean anything.
Why did she keep it? I don't know. She sits at the ring for a long moment, then snatches it from the picture frame. She tucks it away in her satchel. It was mine, so I'm taking it. Now let's keep moving. Yo. Let's kick down another door. The garage. Remember cruising the back alleys of this place looking for kids in need of help? The bait girls, Marta and I and the others, would offer money, food, drugs, and other stuff whatever it took to get them in the van, and once they piled in, Harrow and I would be waiting to greet them. Remember so many nights like that, she frowns. I remember how much I used to enjoy it. Most people would not have done what you're doing right now. Left to my own devices, I probably wouldn't have. You pushed me to do this, to find some semblance of redemption. I owe you for that. You don't owe me anything. Tell me whatever you like. We both know the truth. Come on, let's keep going. What this is. Yeah. I'm gonna switch that. Ooh, Mad Pack 3. Let's send it to our stash. Oh, that's bad. That was a lot of health kits that I had to send to the stash. It's initiate dorms. The new arrivals are brought here. There's still hope for these kids, pal. Hera hasn't a chance to ruin them. Let's get them out of here. Wait, listen. Movement in the other room. Listen closely. You strain your ears to listen. Soft voices from inside the room come drifting out to nearby vent. You hear a woman's voice. The sound is crisp, smooth, and sweet, and instantly puts you at ease. Calm down, dear. It's probably nothing. You need to not worry yourself. We're far off the beaten track. We don't get a lot of visitors. At the corner of your eye, you can see Glory's back stiffen. She flinches as though she's been stung. Another voice, high-pitched and pleading, an adolescent boy. What if it is someone? What if the bad people have found us? What if they follow me here? They're coming to... Female voice cuts in, soft and comforting. Well, then we'll send them away. You're perfectly safe here. You have to believe that. Don't worry, dear. Harrow won't let anyone hurt you. Not here, not in this place, never again. You hear another boy's voice, this one deeper. Are you certain, Marta? Positive. Be calm, all of you. As long as you're here with us, nothing bad will happen to you. It's her. She gives a curt nod. That's right, Marta, the bait that the Harrow used to drag me into the place. What do you want to do? Glory pauses, grits her teeth. Finally, she spits out an answer. If she's still here, she'll be Harrow's #1, my old position. He had his way with all of us, but he was always sweet on Marta. That means she'll have the key to the shrine. Maybe we can talk to her. Maybe, but not here, and not now. Those kids are in there. They'll die for her. They've always loved her. That's what she does. We can't risk confronting her in that room. If the situation turns ugly, one of those kids will happily eat a bullet for her, and that's not what I came here to do. Well then, we'll figure it out. Yes, she is, but we'll deal with her later. I won't hurt any more kids voluntarily. Her voice floats back through the vents. Hush now, boys, and come get some rest. You've got a big day tomorrow, the biggest day of your lives. You get to meet Harrow. I promise you, after you speak with him, you'll see the whole world in a different way. A better way. That endless voice trembles at response. All right, Marta, have a good night. A lovely musical laugh pours out of the vent. You too, dear. All of you. You hear the distant sounds of a door sliding shut. She takes a deep breath and releases it. The coast is clear. We'll handle the initiates. They'll be just a bunch of scared kids. Without Marta there to egg them on, they won't do anything. Okay. The initiate closest to the door whips his head up to look at you. He takes a stutter step backwards in alarm, then opens his mouth to cry for help. You don't want to do that. Glory looks deep into the initiate's eyes, turns to look at him. We're not here to hurt you. We're friends. The initiate eyes you nervously. He gazes, spits to Glory, then falls to her cyber limbs. He swallows. Oh, yeah, okay. He takes a deep breath. You do that. Okay. I'm gonna quickly save. I actually wanted to check this door. And that door. Bathroom? The rubber ducky, that's cute. Go look at the fridge. You open the refrigerator, a whiff of ammonia sticks in your nostrils. Watery lights glint off the door's polished interior. The fridge is stacked full of large packet bins, all tightly sealed and labeled. It's hard to tell, though, through the opaque plastic, but they appear to be full of meat. Inspect the containers. And you take a closer look. The first thing that hits you is the smell. The meat here is beyond rancid. White mold frosts the sides of the bin, and it's all you can do can keep from gagging. As you rush to put the lid back on, you recognize a familiar shape in rotten meat, a mangled hand. What is this, Glory? Which of supplies? The adversary prefers them aged. Harrow teaches all of the initiates how to do it. How to harvest the meat, how to store it, how to label it. Nobody likes doing it first, but then you learn. By the end, it doesn't even bother you anymore. I get the picture. I warned you that what UBC you didn't want to see. You weren't lying. Come on, let's keep moving. It's really gross. I think I've pretty much opened all the doors, except this one. Check the terminal. Nope. Large tome, Glory frowns. Harrow's manifesto, the handcrafted line of BS that he feeds to his initiates. We all ate with a smile, came away convinced that he was genius. She leafs through the pages with an articulated finger. Looks like he expanded it over the last few years. It's at least twice as thick when I arrived. Maybe there's something we'd use. I won't want to hang around here long enough. This is his personal library. Never allowed in this room without Harrow. Nobody was. He said it was for our safety. I think he was telling the truth. She pauses. I feel uneasy being here. I don't want to stay here any longer than we should. Then let's go. I don't see the point in like wasting our time there. Okay. Go back in this room. Let's talk to the female initiate. Initiate by the door is staring at Glory's limbs, her eyes wide. She's a mousy little thing, probably somewhere in the vicinity of 17, with purple contact lenses and a shock of blue hair. She glances at Glory, blinking. You used to live here, didn't you? I've seen your pictures before. You shouldn't have been in that room. It isn't safe for initiates in there. It was a dare. Please don't tell Marta or Mr. Harrow. I don't want to get in trouble. I won't. And to answer your question, yes, I did live here. I was like you, a scared kid, but brought here by Marta for a chance at a new life. I like Marta. She's so nice. I always feel safe when I'm near her. Most adults aren't like that. They either don't notice you or they do for the wrong reasons. But Marta, she cares about us. Can I ask you a question? Sure. I heard Marta talking with Mr. Harrow. I think they were talking about our meeting with him, the one that Marta was telling us about, where we'll learn to see the world in a different way. Go on. Well, I couldn't hear the whole conversation. It was all muffled, but what I could hear was kind of weird. Mr. Harrod said some stuff about a shrine, and then it sounded like he was changing the subject because he started talking about dinner. Something about chopping up meat. Well, Marta got real upset, said they're too new, they're not ready, make the older ones do it, stuff like that. But then Mr. Harrod said some other things, and then she calmed down a bit. When she left, she was smiling. And so I was wondering, do you know what they were talking about? I want to make sure that Marta's okay, but I can't ask about it because I don't want her to find out that it's eavesdropping. Have we seen the fridge? No, why? Is there something we're going to make dinner? Laura cuts in. Her voice is gentle. I wouldn't worry about it. We'll make sure that Marta is okay. All right. But don't tell her that I told you, please. Don't worry, we won't. How long have you been here? Almost a week. She shuffles her feet, eventually looking up with a small smile. It's wonderful. Of course it is. So much nicer than living on the street, isn't it? Laurie's face is kind, but her tone is one of incredible sorrow. You be good, more sweetie. Don't you worry. We'll take care of Marta. The girl smiles sheepishly and steps back. As you pass by her on the way to the door, Glory shoots you a sidelong glance. It's like I thought. Things have changed in the past few years. How so? Back when I lived here, Harry would never let such a fresh convert prepare a sacrifice. He'd wait until she was in so deep, until she felt so indebted to him that she couldn't turn tail and run. It was a rule. You let newcomers get settled for a month, maybe two, before teaching them the more unsavory aspects of cult life. Even then, you'd start them off slow. Their first lessons would be to use pork or chicken, never human meat. That wouldn't come till later. Indoctrinating a new recruit after a week is risky, and he wouldn't have done it when I lived here. The shrine. Maybe he's using it to brainwash them faster. That's what I was thinking. Harrow's getting lazy, letting his captive spirit do the heavy lifting for him. So what does it mean for us? Still working on it, but I don't think the shrine is just a tool for Harrow anymore. I think he relies on it. He's using it as a crutch. I think that he's let himself become dependent on it. We won't let her do what we saw. She nods, a fierce look in her eyes. On that, we are agreed. Okay. Time to go in this room, figure some stuff out. Marta's on the other side of this door. However this goes, we're going to have to move quickly afterwards. If she dies, Hera will know it, and I don't trust her to keep her mouth shut if she lives. So we have to take the key to the shrine room, break through the ward, confront the spirit. Are we clear? Let's do this. The woman in this room is lovely. Full lips contrast artfully with her fine elvish features, and a tumble of red hair spills down over her shoulder. Beyond her physical beauty, there's something inherently approachable about her. She exudes an almost palpable aura of kindness and warmth. Marta, Glory's old lover, the lure that Harrow used to draw her, and so many others, to Fire Pit. She looks up with a start at the sound of your approach. Her eyes go wide at the sight of Glory. As she takes in her cyberware, her mouth falls open in horror. Glory? Yes, Marta, it's me. It's been a long time. It has. She swallows. The horrified look hasn't left her face. Glory, what have you done to yourself? What I had to do, I got out, Marta. That was the only way. Oh, Glory. All at once, the horror on Marta's face is replaced with an expression of profound sorrow. I'm so sorry. Marta steps forward, her arms extended to wrap Glory in a hug. All at once, something in Glory's face changes. Her skin goes from pale to pallid, her breath becomes ragged. She takes a step back and raises her claws in a defensive posture. Her voice frosts over with a cold rage. Don't you touch me. You're one of Hera's creatures. You always were. Marta stops short. One of his creatures? Glory, what are you talking about? Keep your cool, Glory. This isn't like you. Look at me, pal. Take a good long look. I was forced to sacrifice my own body in order to escape from this place, to hack a way that made me human, and she's the one that brought me here. Maybe so, but at the end of the day, it was your decision to come here, and nobody held a gun to your head. She grinds her teeth but says nothing. Eventually she nods. You're right, of course, it was my choice, but that doesn't change what she is or what she did to me. If she hadn't found me, hadn't baited me here, none of this would have happened. And of what? I haven't done anything. If you just left me where you found me, I would have never hurt anybody. My mother would still be alive. I would have never sold my soul to that abomination that you all worship. And I wouldn't have had to sacrifice my own body to escape it. This place took everything from me, and it all started with you. She looks genuinely hurt. Hera and I rescued from the life on the street. A beautiful girl, homeless, penniless, living in the gutter. I pulled you away from all that. I saved you. There's a long pause. Glory stares into Marta's eyes, her expression unreadable. I don't feel much anymore, Marta. Most of the time, I'm completely numb. But for you, I can make an exception. I hate you. I'm sorry you feel that way, Glory. For my part, I still love you. The razors flick out of Glory's fingertips. Her lips curls into a snarl. Another lie. The last one you'll ever tell. I don't think she's lying, or at least she doesn't think so. She believes what she's saying. That's because it's true. I'll prove it to you. The words come stammering out of her, eyes fixed on Glory's razors. Ask me anything you want. I'll show you that I'm telling the truth. I never want anything bad to happen to you, Glory. Not ever. She wheels to face you. Why are you listening to her? She's telling you what you want to hear. That's her whole purpose here, remember? She's bait. She would listen to anything. Why would she be listening to anything she says? Because of this, and the photo that was nailed too. She's lying. She wouldn't have kept them all these years. Glory stares at you for a moment, naked hostility on her face. Then the razor slides back into her housings with a click. All right, Marta, convince me. Convince you of what? That I'm not a monster? I don't know how to do that, Glory. You can start by telling me how you sleep at night. You know what happened to the kids that you bring here. You know what happened to me, but you're still luring them here into Harrow's clutches all these years later. So tell me, how do you live with yourself? Explain it to me. For a moment, you can see conflict behind Marta's eyes. If cognitive dissonance had a face, it would have been hers. Confused, frightened, angry, at war with herself. For a moment, she struggles to speak. Then the whispering sensations that you felt outside the compound come back, and her face changes. The muscles of her brow relax, and she appears to be at peace. Why are you asking me this, Glory? You already know the answer. The kids here, they aren't being hurt. They're walking the path of free and pure life, just like Hera taught us. I haven't been in Fire Pit for an hour, Marta. In that time, I found the evidence of horrifying levels of abuse. She flinches in agitation, but you hear the whispering again. She calms herself. A joyful smile widens. Nothing that happens here is without reason. Hera is a great man, a prophet. When you meet him for yourself, you'll understand. He'll make you see. She's too far gone to parse what you're saying, pal. After so many years living here, I don't even know if she even knows what normal feels like anymore. She steps forward and grabs Marta by the shoulder. It's a curiously soft gesture. Marta, if what you're saying is true, if you ever really did care for me, then please give me your key. It's important. She blinks. Key? Whatever you use to get past the wards outside of Hera's shrine, I need it. Don't ask why. Just do this for me. You owe me that much. She looked momentarily conflicted, then the moment passes. No, Hera said that I had to guard this. He told me that I could never take it off. I can't answer I can't question one of Hera's orders. It would be wrong. You question him about planning of what to do with the initiatives. Was that wrong? That's different. She blinks, and then the whispering sound returns, soft and incessant, and the flicker of unease on her face is replaced with an easy smile. You wouldn't understand. Then maybe you could explain it to me. Maybe you could answer my question. Maybe I'd be able to see the light. She nods eagerly. Yes, yes, please. Go on and ask your questions. I'll explain everything, and you'll see for yourself how perfect and right our way really is. How beautiful it can be. Harrow is evil. You get that right? I mean, Harrow's hurting these runaways. Hurting? How so? It's gonna make them do horrible things. The girl, she's such a sweet young thing. I rescued her from a bad place. Glory, her and the boy in that dorm as well. But they're safe now, and that isn't important. Are they? I know what I'm talking about, Marta. The harvesting, the meat. Marta blinks. She looks momentarily confused, and then you see the conviction clamp back down in her eyes. It's regrettable, but it happens for a good reason. The sacrifice keeps us here. The safety is something that a lot of these kids have never known. The initiates have to learn how things are done here. We all have our responsibilities. He's corrupting you all. How many of them has he taken as his wives? She rolls her eyes. A lesson in Puritan values from a Shadowrunner. How quaint. This isn't about you. I don't care what you do, Marta. I'm talking about child abuse. Her eyes... Harrow doesn't take the young ones for wives, and I don't know what Glory told you, but he isn't a monster. And even the youngest initiates aren't children. Not really. Her voice goes soft. Life on the street took that from them long ago. Fire pit lets them be themselves, but in a safe place. Certainly safer than the alleys or urban hellholes from where they lived. I was young when he chose me, Marta. Maybe not innocent, but young. Somewhere deep down, you knew that it was wrong. When you lived with us, you didn't think it was wrong. You loved it here. You can rewrite history to cast yourself as the victim if you want. If demonizing me helps, you can do that, too. But nobody ever forced you to do anything, Glory. This is clearly a different subject. I don't know what you were hoping to achieve to bring it up, but I promise you aren't going to convince me to abandon my way of life. Our ways here are our own. You can't change that. All you can do is accept it and move on. They brainwashed you, and it's not okay. You just don't know when to give up to you. Our ways aren't yours, but that doesn't give you the right to judge us. Who are you to impose your ideology on the commune? I'm just giving my opinion. I'll tell you what you are. You're always the kind of person that Harrow always warned us about. Your sense of moral outrage doesn't trump our right to live the way we choose. She takes a deep breath, struggles to calm herself. If you have more accusations to hurl at my husband, go ahead and do it. I'll tell you how wrong you are. Prefer to keep this conversation civil, but that's up to you. When Glory lived here, he had her kill a man for the trivet player. How can that be right? She blinks, looks momentarily confused. The conviction, blah, blah, blah. It was a long time ago, and the man wanted to hurt the commune. He did what he had to do. And yes, of course we took it. Why let a practically good tradio go to waste? Justify it however you want, Marta. I can't any longer. You're confused, Glory. Lost. But go on. Tell me that Harrow is hurting us, and I'll tell you where. You're wrong. Like, can I convince her? Or is this just going to be a roundabout and I have to kill her? Like, The smile dies on Marta's face. I don't know what Glory told you, but the adversary isn't the devil. Claiming that, reducing him to a cartoonish embodiment of evil is an insult. The adversary that I revere is the personification of rebellion, conflict, and change, of anarchy. The fact that you live in Berlin but hold the adversary in contempt proves one of two things. You're either ignorant or you're a hypocrite. Maybe it isn't evil, but Harrow's interpretation certainly is. Her lips curl into a sneer. Harry warned us. Ugh, I just don't want to even deal with this. Marta sighs and her voice takes on a condescending tone. I don't have to believe anything you tell me. You don't get to dictate my spiritual beliefs. I'm done with this. If you want to go on slandering the idol that I serve, do it somewhere else. As for you, you can either change the subject or you can get ready for a fight. I won't hear any more of your blasphemy. Oh, well, if I had to read the book in the library, I can reload. Not too difficult. Let's quickly go back through that. Okay. When I first set on the path to free living, I realized that you'd have to rethink all of my earlier assumptions about life. I'd have to question my own values and beliefs, and I'd need the strength to trust in the answers that came to me. The prospect was daunting, but it was also necessary. The road to true freedom is paved with unanswered questions. After all, you can't learn to be free from a book. The answer won't come from a Bible, an instruction manual, or a code of conduct. It won't. If you don't learn that, you'll never break your chains. The path to free freedom is the one that each of us walk on his or her own. What makes life worth living? What is life truly valuable? What is the dross that can be burned away? I spent weeks dissecting every... Oh, I'm gathering evidence against her. Okay. I spent weeks dissecting every aspect of my life to find the answer to these questions. Slowly, agonizingly, I pared down the list to only 4 items remained. 4 items became the cornerstone of the new philosophy, the basis of Fire Pit. Love, the first cornerstone, the most important. Without love, life is bland and meaningless. Without love, might as well be machines. Love what you do, love the people around you, but above all, love yourself. Self-determination, the second cornerstone. Each of us must be his or her own shepherd. No more gods, no more kings. Your life is your own. Lash out against anyone or anything that tries to treat you like property. An assault on your freedom is an assault on your whole being, and it must be met with equally ferocious response. Charity. It's the third cornerstone. A miserly life is an empty life. A miserly life is an empty life. If each of us is his or her own master, then nobody should live as a serf. By helping others along the path of enlightenment so we can enrich our own lives. Passion, the final cornerstone. Complacency is poison, beware of it. Ambition is the key to fulfilling life. Don't settle what is. If you do, you abandon what could be. Be free. Be free in all things. Experience that freedom with your whole body, spirit, mind, etc. Discard the oppressive traditions of modesty and shame that you've been indoctrinated with since birth. The freethinker has no use for them. Your body is a source of pride, of pleasure, and of succor for yourself and others. Enjoy it and share that joy freely. Be selfish. Don't enslave others at the expense of your own happiness. Take what you want and do so unashamedly. Our desires are that an important part of what makes us human. Society has trained us to be blah, 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 blah. I don't really care. Show reverence. The first living person understands that the only true governance in this world is the law of nature, and that nature, there is a hierarchy. The rabbit doesn't question the wolf. The mouse does not wonder why it must run from the cat. They do because they must. Their survival depends on it. As is nature, so is Fire Pit. Know your place in the food chain and understand the mechanisms by which you better yourself. Final pages of the manifesto dissolve into semi-cohesive rants about anarchy, social dwarfism, free love, and the Horn God. You've seen this kind of thing before. Harris' philosophy is collapsing under its own weight. Unfortunately, none of his cultists seem to have caught on to the fact. Barry lets out a startled cry, cutting your sentence short. Out of the corner of your eye, you see the wheel of a face something behind you. All at once, the room feels the slaughterhouse smell, the smell of blood, bile, and feces, the stench of arbiter. Oh, that's horrible. As you turn, you catch something sliding into the world. Looks like a charred man. A pair of tortured faces, where its shoulders would be. The thing burns like a Roman candle, spitting white-hot sparks in a fiery plume. The oily substance, blah, 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 blah. Pow, look out. I don't care. It's gonna be pretty easy to kill. It doesn't matter. I can heal myself. And then I can go and choo-choo. Glory can go Wacha-cha and miss. And then she can go her other Wacha. Almost dead. Done. Body of the thing that attacked you begins to dissolve the moment of death. As you watch, the tissue breaks down to a growing slick bubble, lean pitch, and rendered fat. What was that? Something from another place. Glory stares at the remains of the creature, now a dark stain on library floorboards. Like I said outside, the boundaries between the physical world and the astral space are weak here. Things can come through. I think we're gonna get all we got from the book. So did I get all the things that I need? Like, prove my point?
Hope so. Blah blah blah. We already read this. Blah 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 blah. Okay, keep it cool, Glory. This isn't like you. Nobody held your gun. Blah blah blah. We already talked about this. She hates her. She still loves her. She believes what she's saying. Some stuff. Glory's ring. Some stuff. Some other stuff. More of the stuff. It's whispering to her. I can feel it. She continues her dreadful smile. Her voice is placid. Harrow is a great man, a prophet. True sacrifices must be made. But what he brings in return is so much love, Glory. You remember. Glory grits her teeth, but gives you a small nod. Yeah, you're right. After so many years living here, I don't even know if she knows what normal feels like anymore. Marta, if you're saying is true, if you ever really did care for me, then please give me your key. It's important. Key, blah. Right, I wish I had this. I should have done this. You question him, explain to me. I read Harrow's manifesto. It looks like he's spending a long time talking about charity. She nods. Of course, charity, the kind of practice that I use when I rescue bum people. But then his rule of religion, he says that all free thinkers are supposed to be selfish. Well, yes, but... And after that, he says that the only strong deserve to prosper. So which is it? Marta blinks, looks momentarily confused. You don't understand the beauty of his message, the truth behind it. Harrow is evil. Blah, blah, blah. He's evil. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Harrow's hurting the runaways. It's gonna make them do something horrible. The harvesting the meat. Magicians have to do something. They have a responsibility. How about the Trello vid? Revid. It's corrupting you guys. It seems that you've been brainwashed, but Marta, it isn't. Blah, blah, blah. Something else I'd like to ask you. You see, you found a tattered bloodstained shirt in there. It looked like it came from an initiate. The infusion washes her face. Blah, blah, blah. So you found a shirt, so what? There could be hundreds of explanations. You know what kind of things that happened in that room, Marta. You heard the stories. We both did. She shakes her head. I've never seen an initiate harmed in that room. Not once. And as for the rumors, they're just, well, rumors. They have to be. Marta, it's the right thing to do. It isn't you. It's this place. It gets in your head. It took a lot more than that to wake me up. I don't know what to do. She fishes the amulet from between her breasts. She holds it to you. Take it and go. Do what you need to. Thank you, Marta. She holds her head clasped in both her hands, a torture expression overtaking her face. Please just go. Awesome. I mean, she's gonna run to what's-his-face, and I don't care. You said that you just wanted to talk to her. She ran out here in tears. Her mother died. We're going to calm her down right now. Oh no, poor Marta. Take care of her, okay? Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't know where she ran off to. I don't really care. I'm gonna stop here at the corner. I'm gonna go save. We're gonna go open this. So, as you step forward, the scintillating red light that streams from the doorway flickers and dies. There's a strange, lurching sensation in your gut, but it clears almost instantly. The door swings open with a touch. That seems to have done it. She nods, reaches her satchel, clenching a small jar. I'm going to smear this on your forehead. It's a sort of alchemical balm. Her voice quiets. Arrow taught me how to make it. She unscrews the cap, the jar revealing a pale white ointment. The service glitters strangely in the dim light. If you ever wondered where my share of the take from our jobs has gone, this is the answer. Powdered oroculum isn't cheap. What does it do?
Boundaries between the material world and the astral plane are weak in this place. Things can blue. This balm is like a lens. It focuses your perception, makes this the haze real. She applies this smear of ointment on her forehead. Looks like a glob of glittering white paint. With this, we can deal with the spirit on its own level. Sounds like a plan. She dips her finger back in the balm and traces down your forehead. The ointment feels cool and oily. That's good, because we don't have another one. She fishes in her bag a second time and pulls out a pair of silver necklaces. A rune-inscribed pendant dangles in each. This will protect your astral form from spiritual possession. Don't take it off while we're dealing with the shrine, whatever you do. Got it. Glory puts on her own pendant. The necklace glitters against her pale skin. I don't know what's going on to happen when we step in that room, pal. We're playing with forces outside our control. Are you ready? We'll do this. There's a long pause before she speaks again. When she does, her voice sounds strained. This is the very beginning of this thing. We both agreed that Harrow needs to die. I still want that. I want to bury my claws in his belly and pull his entrails out for what he's done to me and all the other kids. But from what I've seen here tonight, I suspect Harrow isn't the real power here anymore. Explain. What it means for us is that we shouldn't have to kill Harrow to put an end to this. I don't think that he'll be much of a threat on his own, not anymore. If we can manage to purify the spirit rather than killing it, it will withdraw from the cultist minds willingly. We can save them. I think that if we purify the spirit, Fire's Pit will die and we'll save all the kids and the nightmare will end. I'm just here to help, dude. Thank you, pal. I'd hate to do the wrong thing here. Let's put the end to the list. We'll heal the spirit and then the cultists. We'll send Harrow running and shutting this place down. Let's do that. I mean, I killed a bunch of people, though. You feel the shrine, a chorus of high, sibilant voices fill the air. The sound is light and airy, but something about it fills you with dread. Welcome home, Glory. Glory's eyes go wide. She opens her mouth to speak, but no sound escapes. Glory, what? Something slams into you, a wave of intangible force that turns your consciousness inside out and sends shockwaves reverberating through your mind. The world lurches and everything goes black. Really? I feel like it's a big waste. Slowly begin to stir. Murky, flickering impressions invade the oily stillness of your unconscious mind. The sensations come in waves, washing over you, jerking you back towards consciousness. You smelled arid smoke and burning meat, the roar of distant flames whispering in your ears. When your eyes flutter open, a dull red glare fills your vision. You attempt to struggle to your feet. You become dimly aware that gravity feels wrong. Everything is heavier than it should be. What's a waste? Did I say a waste? I just felt frustrated. Like, let's do a bunch of stuff, and then let's, like, get it taken away just because, and I don't know. Slowly waves grow still, and your senses calm. You find yourself staring into an infinite horizon. Also, there's just so much stuff. Like they could have, like, talked less, done more, you know. You find yourself staring into an infinite horizon. The blasted ruins of Fire Pit stretch out in all directions as the eye can see. Is this the astral space? No, we're someplace else. You're going to have to be more specific. I don't have answers for you, but the one thing that I am sure of is whatever this place is, the adversary holds sway here. Would this make this hell? No, I don't think it's as simple as that. The spirit that we're hunting is going to be here, right? Yes, it should be here somewhere. Like, now we have to go somewhere, and, like, I don't know. I feel like they just make these quests a bit too... I don't know. Let's make it frustrating and difficult for no reason. It's not that it's tiring to read, it's just like... I don't know. I don't play a lot of RPGs that are, like, extremely wordy. Oh, that's gross. I don't have a way to wake her up. He's not asleep, is he?
We didn't heal back up. Oh no. That's great. That's not too bad. Ugh. Have to manage his healing. Oh gosh. You guy's big. The thing hovering before you is hideous. Its broad chest is jacketed in scale-like patches of burning coal, and in many sets of antlers shimmer with heat. It smells like a barn fire, wood smoke, burning fur, and blackening bodies. The spirit inclines its head towards Glory and spreads its arms in welcome. Glory, welcome, child. And speaks in a chorus of clear, lilting voices. You don't hear them so much as feel them. The sensation is strange, like hundreds of butterflies fluttering in your chest. What a pleasure it is to see you again. Glory steps forward, trepidation on her face. Standing before the towering form of the spirit, she looks frail and small. She takes a deep breath, steels herself, and speaks. I know what you were, spirit, before the adversary twisted you, before Harrow bound you into this rock. She drops a hand to the satchel at her side. I can help you be that again. All you need to do is let me. The spirit chuckles, a strange, warbling sound that sends shiver down your spine. We are not in need of help. We are the great master's servant, just as Harrow is. Just as you are, despite your misguided attempt to cut away his love from your heart. The voices in your head soften, become sad. The flutter in your chest turns ugly, like buzzing wings from a swarm of blowflies. You have mangled yourself beyond repair, and you did it to spite him. He who was your greatest benefactor, you betrayed him, child, but he still loves you all the same. Don't listen to him, Glory. Slowly, terribly, the spirit begins to turn. You can hear the cracks and pops, splintering vertebrae as its enormous head shifts on its shoulders. It fixes its carnivorous gaze on you. Your friend, this outsider, speaks out of truth, but we take no offense. Her words are like the babble of a newborn babe. She is ignorant of the truth. The spirit inclines its head toward you. If the noise continues, we will teach her, and the babble will cease. Don't. I have a message for you from our great master. He is a gift for you, a peace offering, one that he offers freely, a sign of his continued affection for you. He knows that you desire his servant's destruction as a symbol of his love. He will grant you the power to bring an end to Harrow. He knows that you wish to free the children of Fire's Pit. As a sign of his compassion, he will help you set them free. You can have everything you want, child. All of this and more. Obviously a trick. Don't listen. The spirit keeps its attention fixed on Glory. It claps its hands and leans forward, blowing its head. All that requires of you is a show of good faith. Remove the protective ward from your necklace, and his gift is yours for the taking. Yours forever. I don't think so. Don't do it. That's right. She dips a hand into her satchel and produces a ceremonial dagger. A blade shimmers eerily in the light. After we've purified you, you're going to help us do it. The spirit cackles. Very well, child. It is pain. If pain is what you seek, we will bring it to you. Beneath his leathery skin, the thing's bones begin to shift, straining against the ligaments and tendons that bind them. A hideous cracking sound fills the air as the skeleton splinters and pops. As you watch, the spirit's body begins to rupture. Great lesions open in the creature's chest and back, and its ribcage cracks from some horrible internal pressure. The spirit's chest heaves, and a foul liquid pours from the rips in his flesh. A flash of light stabs your eyes. When your vision clears, you have 3 identical spirits floating before you. Death comes in many forms, child. The fluttering sensation in your chest grows into a rasping pain that steals your breath from your lungs. It feels like you're being eaten alive. Yours will be swift and brutal. Oh, there are 3 people. That's funny. So, let's move here. And let's say... I feel like... Yeah. Let's just go. Nope, 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 and nope. And you're gonna come up here, and you're gonna go, nope. And then more nope. Oh good, it missed. That also was blocked. And that was blocked. Yeah, my cover is really good. A figure materializes out of shadow. This form is a wispy, insubstantial, a projection of a man distorted by distance. His silhouette ripples like a flag in the wind. Through the haze, you can see his face. He is more beautiful than handsome, with sculpted features and an unnaturally youthful complexion. His expression is sad. Harrow. Glory. The voice is deep but faint and marred by echoes. It sounds like if he's shouting from the far end of a long tunnel. You shouldn't have come here. I was content to let you live your life out in peace. I've come to put an end to this place, Harrow. This place, your pathetic, sickening cult. I don't want to kill you, Glory, and I won't unless you force my hand. The silhouette spreads its arms wide. Ask me for my protection, and I will usher you out of this place. I can leave Fire Pit in peace. If you ask me politely, I might even let your friend leave with you. I won't abandon your victims here, Harrow. Not again. I'm going to burn this place to the ground. My only regret is not that you aren't here in person to burn with it. The projection of Harrow sighs. A fight, then. Very well. The air around him begins to pulse with scintillating bursts of color. His rippling, transparent form glows with heat from within. You brought this upon yourself. Now he's here too. Well, we're gonna ignore him because he's just obnoxious. We're gonna go, hey Glory, you're amazing. Be amazing wachachas all over everybody. Wreck this thing 3 times. Ow. I'm asleep now. I'm just gonna stand behind this because this is really like the best place to be. I missed. Now I took damage. Okay. Ooh, I didn't want them to do that. Well, I guess I don't care so much. It wasn't too bad.
There you go. The weakened the spirit's form flickers and sparks. The burning coals that cling to its body fall off in clumps, and its searing antlers begin to cool. The chorus of lifted voice warbles and shrieks as its body transmogrifies into something else. Through the haze, you can see Harrow's eyes go wide. At once, his rippling silhouette begins to fade back into the shadows whence it came. His body becomes insubstantial. Go ahead and run, you coward. Run back to the real world and whatever hole you crawled out of. We'll catch you. Shadows in the shape of a man smile back at you. The distance in his voice has increased. It sounds like he's shouting from miles away. I don't think so. You don't even know where the real me is, Glory. Oh, don't worry. We'll find you. We're good at that. His projection flashes you a condescending grin. Believe whatever you like, fool. It wouldn't do you any good. Years from now, I'll still be doing what I do, and you will have accomplished nothing. Go ahead, Harrow. Try to step another coat. We won't get far before I hunt you down. The projectile chuckles. The sound is thin and hollow. You know better than that, but nothing makes me happier than the sound of you lying to yourself. Goodbye, Glory. The shadow slowly dissipates and Harrow's gone. Well, he isn't worth the effort. Glory continues staring for a long time at the spot where the projection Harrow vanished. Her expression is unreadable. Slowly she turns away. The spirit's writhing form continues its transformation. Twisted claws, buckles, break and reform. Charred bone begins to heal. The barn fire stench of it slowly dies away, replaced by an array of more pleasant smells: oak and pine, mineral oil, rustic feasts, and mulled wine. As it cools, the spirit raises its head. Its body is as shaky as a newborn foal. What happened to us? What have you done? You did what the adversary wanted you to do. Use your imagination. But we couldn't have. You don't get to run from this. You've committed unspeakable acts, Spirit. Loathsome, unforgivable crimes. You have corrupted children, turned them into killers. You've been a party of violence, torture, and the desiccation of corpses. You've created monsters. The spirit cringes, shaking its great head from side to side. It doesn't speak, but a low, rumbling sound emanates from somewhere deep in its chest. Unpleasant to think about, isn't it? But you have to, Spirit. You can't run from what you've done. Your actions are part of you, whether you like it or not. The rumbling sound turns into a tormented howl. The noise conjures images of mourning mothers, caged animals, and screeching orphans and dying men. The sound of pure, unmitigated despair. Glory takes us forward towards the giant. Listen to me, Spirit. I need your help. We're here to rescue the cultists of Fire Pit, the street kids whose minds you've touched. We're getting them out of here before the adversary can do to them what it did to you. The spirit stares at Glory for a moment. Finally, it dips its head in a nod. Yes, we will help you. We already have done so. The cultists of Fire Pit are themselves again. The spirit bows its head. We wish to do more. We have so much to atone for, as you said. Go ahead. We won't stop you. No, but the stone will. We are still bound to the shrine, anchored here. We can do nothing without your help. Tell us what you need us to do. We need an appropriate vessel to carry us out of the rock, something touched by magic, but more dead than alive. It dips its head. Do you have anything that can help us? Gingerly, she reaches and wraps a hand around the protective ward that hangs around her neck. Yes, I think I do. Ooh, I don't want to lose Glory, but the spirit needs freedom. I don't see why. With a single motion, she snaps the chain. The pendant falls to the floor. The heart of Fire Pit lowers its eyeless head, then traces an elaborate gesture in the air. A warm glow envelops it. A similar glow spills from Glory. There's a bright flash, and the spirit is gone. Glory, are you okay? She rises. She looks you in the eye, a quizzical expression on her face. I can feel it, Spirit. It's bound to me now. Can it help us? See for yourself. She raises an arm, and you can feel a burst of warmth, comfort in your chest. It wants to help people, to heal them. It wants redemption just like I do. Together, we'll find it. Behind your eyes, your vision starts to twist. It feels as though you're being turned inside out. Time to go. The spirit's link to the adversary severed. The entire reality is falling apart. See you in the real world, Glory. She offers you a grateful smile. I'll see you there. Poof. Slowly, you swim back to consciousness, struggling to your feet. You find Glory standing and alert. You can feel them. The spirit set them free, but they're trapped somewhere here in the complex. The initiates? Yes, and others. She surveys the room, a worried expression on her face. We need to find them and get out of here. The connection between this compound and whatever we were is breaking down, and as the place disintegrates, more and more of those things are spilling through. Say no more. We're getting out of here. Not without the cultists, but yes, she tries towards the door. Let's get moving. Wings. Let's pause and save. And let's go. That's the exit, right? No.
I don't see anyone in here. I can't walk around. Maybe I can? Let's clear the rubble. Open the door. As you kick the door open and stumble forward into the room, you find yourself surrounded by a sea of teenage faces. Initiates all huddled together and trembling. With the spirit's influence cleared from their minds, they look frightened and lost. The kids who've had their security blankets torn away. Gloria steps forward, and when she speaks, her voice is gentle. Come on, all of you. We're taking you to safety, someplace far from here. The scrawny teenager in a ratty coat stares at Gloria's chrome, his mouth slacking, his voice cracks. What happened to you? Your arms. Something you'll never need to worry about. Come on, let's get out of here. Let's go. Come on, peeps. I'd hoped that we could have saved Marta, but it doesn't look like we could or did. Give me 1 second. Okay. Oh, she ran from the place. Okay, cool. Nope, no donations. Everything's fine. Cool. So, what do I do now? Meet with Eager's contact. I have only 2 karma, which is, like, not enough to do anything. Well, guess there's nothing. Do I not have 5 revenue 5k? No, I got 2k. I'm gonna double check on Glory, and then we're gonna go about our business to Eager. Glory stands, an introspective look on her face. At the sound of your approach, she turns to face you. Thank you for your help at Fire Pit. I couldn't have done it without you. I've been meaning to talk to you about that. After the things we saw in there, I'm not surprised. Go ahead, I'm listening. He got away. He frowns, and yes, he's already putting distance between himself and the forest. What do you want to go... How do you want to go about tracking him? Finding Harrow is going to be a full-time job. We can't track him down while we still have a great dragon hanging over our heads. After we've dealt with Claire and Firewing, I'll devote myself wholeheartedly to finding him and finishing this. But for now, we need to keep our eyes on the road. What did you wind up doing with the cultists that we rescued? Did you send them to Samuel? No, he has enough to worry about but keeping the people of Cruzbar safe. These kids that were rescued, they've been damaged by Harrow's philosophies. They can do better, but they can get better, but it's going to take time. Try integrating them into our society too quickly could be dangerous. Well, where'd they go? I took them to Talimsmonger Algernon. He said that he knew a place where they could get help. It won't be easy for them or quick, but they'll get better in time. We didn't see Marta again after she ran off. Do you think she's okay? I don't know. I don't even know if I want her to be. She was the first person I ever really loved, but that doesn't make up for all the pain she's caused. Harrow did a job on her, and if she's alive, she probably still thinks that she was saving the kids that she lured to Fire Pit. I feel sick just thinking about it. She looks away. Let's talk about something else, Pad. Rather not delve well on it. Sweet. No more questions. Double checking on my bro.
a 3, a 2. I'm gonna drop another one of these. A 3. I'll be super happy with that. Oh yeah, there's no way we're gonna get anywhere near that. Well, okay then. So let's go see if we can find Simi, and then we're gonna go talk to Eager. Nope. I mean, that could be Simi. I can't tell. I don't have anything else to say to her. I thought it'd be a simple conversation, but in fact, it's not a simple conversation. The dwarf has a distinct Eurasian appearance. He peers up at Eager through almond-shaped eyes. The rest of his broad face is dominated by strong Slavic features. He nods to himself and puts down his mug of soy calf. On the edge of the table, a plate of day-old pie cools in a haze of cigarette smoke. Boy, Eager, been a long time. He taps the thumb on the rim of his coffee cup. Keep him busy? You could say that. Pal, this is Bannock. He's a friend. There are scoffs. I don't know if I'd go that far. Nothing personal, you understand, but if I were to start keeping friends, I might call you one. But in my experience, friendship and obligation go hand in hand. A solitary life is cleaner. She smiles. Professional acquaintance, then. The dwarf nods. Better. Now let's get down to business, shall we? Well, we need intel on the engineer, where he's staying, who he's working for, and how long he's been in Shadowrun. Whatever you've got, we want it. He spears a hunk of pie with his fork, crams it into his mouth, and starts to chew. A moment later, he shrugs. I've had worse, and of course I'll give you what I can, but I don't know much. I can point you in the right direction, that's all. Just tell us what you can. We'll handle the heavy lifting. Dwarf nods, fumbles with his jacket pocket for something. A moment later, he produces a weathered paper map and spreads it on the table. Alright, we're looking at this northwest quadrant of Shadowrun. This is Gangturei, all of it. These days, the whole Kais is being held by Rambach. We can handle him. Wouldn't be sure about that if I were you. The guys that fill the power vacuum with their last leader bit is a real piece of work. But hey, maybe you're right. I hope so, for your sake. He stabs a meaty finger down on the faded silhouette of the building. This warehouse right here is Rambach HQ, and that's where the engineer is staying. Wonderful, she exhales heavily. If he's staying there, he must be arranging some sort of deal with them. That would be a safe bet. And they haven't pulled their guns on him yet, so it's fair to assume that negotiations are going well. I'm sure that if I don't have to tell you this, but the last thing we needed is an alliance between some foreign syndicate and Rambach. Nothing good can come up with it. Excuse me. Can't argue with that. Now, I can't tell you who the engineer is working for. You'll have to ask about that himself. Have to ask him about that yourself. But what I can do is make it easier for you to have a sit-down with him. Bannock reaches under the table, brings up a canvas bag he places in front of you and pushes it forward. Don't open that in here. The people in this room would kill you for what's in that bag. Gonna tell us, or we're gonna guess? He lowers the voice to a soft whisper. You lean in to hear him clearly. What you're gonna find in that gadget is about the size of a water pistol. It's a rubberized grip and a hair trigger, and it's good for one shot. Is it a stun gun? No. He pauses for a moment, playing with his fork. Well, not really. For other purposes, you might as well think of it as one, though. The object in question is the cyberware deactivator. I had it shipped here at great personal expense from a supermax prison in the UCAS. He traces a twirl in the air with the fork. The warden owed me a favor. Very nice, Bannock. This should make this easy. Not easy, possible. I wouldn't give it to you if the job could be done without it. The engineer is rocking a Delta-grade move-by-wire system. Unless you shut it down, there's no way you'll catch him. And if we do shut it down, he'll be forced into a state of permanent seizure. He shrugs. Only until he gets the thing up and running again. Deactivated isn't the same thing as broken. The dwarf shovels another forkful of pie into his mouth. He chews thoughtfully. Until then, his life will be a living hell, but I can think of worse things to use as a bargaining chip. Remember, you need to know who he works for.
more, the more you can take out of him out of his comfort zone, the better. Sounds like a plan. Sounds that way. Thanks, Panic. We'll let you know how things work out. I'll lose that one. Don't bother. I'll be watching. Okay. Time to skedaddle, I guess. I think this will be our last mission for sure. Okay then. Well, hopefully we can get somewhere. Okay. Let's see here. She could use a trauma kit just to be safe. And then what does her shotgun do? It'll be better to give her this one because it gives her 18 damage instead of 14. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I think that looks good. I prefer that I had the shotgun, but I'm never gonna get there. I have 2 karma, and I've got nothing with that 2 karma. To the edge of the cruise bazaar, a really bad stench hits your nose and throat. The dilapidated husks of burnt-out buildings loom above you, giving the place an air of menace. I was hoping I'd put this place behind me after the Humanus run. Yeah, I'm with you there, she wrinkles her nose. The funny thing is, the syndicate present might actually help Shatternest, in the short term at least. They clean up the streets, if nothing else. Don't tell me you've changed your mind. Not for a second. A syndicate, any syndicate in Shatternest would be a disaster for the Cruise Bazaar. The people on the other side of the gate deal with their own problems. I won't allow my home to be endangered for their sake. Let us in. You again? Well, you ignored my warning last time and you ain't dead, so I guess you can handle yourself. Let them through, Sergei. I can sell it. I don't know where we actually have to go. Lady, there's a man. Got pots and pans. You need pots and pans? No, I need some information. Just helping out the neighborhood. They're just down the street in the warehouse with the grass in front. New guys showed up a few days ago. Seems like a bigwig. They've been moving product through ever since. What type of product? It'll cost you extra. I don't care. Drugs, guns, usual. Seems like more drugs than guns lately, so maybe things will pick up around here. Thanks. No problem, honey. I get the best deals on pot and pans on this side of wherever we are.
Just looking for some information? I bet you are. I've seen your type before. You're probably looking for someone or something that's been stolen. Either way, the Rambach won't be happy about you sticking your nose in the Shatternest. I'm new in town. What's hot around here? Nothing. Not a thing. All they're doing in Shatternest is to get your ass beat by gangs until you decide to join one. Which gang are you in? I'm still in the former camp. I've heard that Rambach do a haze to new members. I'll be getting pushed around every once in a while over that. Alright, I'm leaving. So, where did they say? I missed that part. Warehouse with grass in front? I don't see anything over here. Got any ideas, Eager? She looks secure. To examine the heaven door skyline. I might be able to blast it open with a controlled explosive, but that'll spook you inside. Probably best if we just find the code. I don't know how we're gonna find the code. Like, not without murdering everybody. What would the point of that be? Where the code is? We can deal with that. Done. 292 something. I don't know the last number, so that'll get you most of the way. Got it. Thanks. It's not gonna be difficult. There's only 9 numbers that can go with it, or 10 numbers. One, 2, 9, 2, 2, 2, 9, 2, 3. Done. Okay. I want to put myself here. That's a ley line. And I want to put her somewhere that is some pretty good cover. There for now. I'm gonna kill her before she's summoned. What was the objective? Yeah, well, I'm not there yet. I can't exactly use that. So they can't shoot through here. They can come out the back, it looks like. He's too fast. How do I not have enough AP? Like... I don't understand. I don't see how I'm gonna do this. I don't think there is any way I'm going to be able to do this. Yeah, like I said, I don't see how I can do any of this. The issue is... Where's my last load that's not this load? I probably won't. That's the frustrating part. Because it takes one whole turn to give me haste. And that one whole turn does squat for me. He's gonna be turned to head. No matter what I do. I can run up here, but I can't hit him. And so now there's, again, nothing I can do. Oh, I guess finally I can do something. Let me drag this guy back to the warehouse. We're going to find out what he knows. The engineer lies splayed out on the ground, his body trembling violently. Eager shoves a bottle up his nose and squeezes. The engineer shudders violently, and then trembling begins to subside. She glances at you. Aerosol BZD to help treat the seizures. Bannock was kind enough to include it in his goodie bag. It won't last long, but it should give Yuli here enough muscular control to answer a few questions. Engineer voice comes out in a stutter, not saying that word. Eager raises an eyebrow. See, he's talking already. The engineer's eyes burn with hate. Beads of sweat dot his brow as he struggles to control the tremors that wreck his body. He takes a deep breath, holds it, and releases it slowly. The trembling begins to subside. Got some questions, you better have answers. I know the troll, we have the history, but you are a stranger to me. Are you sure that you have the stomach for this stranger? Not many do. You're either going to answer him one way or another. Just keep telling yourself that, elf. His voice sounds stronger now. The stutter that marred his speech is almost completely faded. She wasn't telling herself. She slaps him across the face, splitting his lip down the middle, and the impact sounds like a gunshot. She was telling you. Ear leans in towards the engineer. He recoils, grinding the back of his head against the grease-stained tiles. You're helpless, a cripple. Her voice comes out in a snarl. But if you answer our questions, things will be easier for you. So tell us, whose payroll are you on? Grabs a fist of the orc's hair and lifts his head up, his face inches from his. His face inches from hers. Tell us who sent you to Shatternest. There's a long pause. Eventually, the engineer looks away. Alright, you want to know about it? I'll tell you. Demernia sent me. They want to use Shatternest as a base of operations in Berlin. My point of contact is a ghoul named Beetle. There, you've got your intel. Now set me free or kill me. Yuli? Eager leans back, shaking her head. You wouldn't roll over an employer that easy. Your rep tells me that much. No? I think you're messing with us. You wanted a name, I gave you a name. Want more? I can give you those too. I can name 100 clients you'd love a piece of Shatternest. How do you intend to determine who really sent me? Got a couple of ideas. Engineer smirks. You can try beating the truth out of me. You can try cutting on me. Get creative with the pliers if you like. Every time you hurt me, I'll give you a different name. Torture me or don't, it'll all end the same. I'll be dead, and you'll know nothing for certain, and my clients will move ahead on schedule. Cooperate, and maybe it doesn't have to end that way. Maybe you'll get out of here alive. He snorts. You think I'm delusional, woman? I'm already dead. The same she-troll beside you is going to put a bullet in my brain as soon as she gets what she wants. Just look at her. Take a look at the ugly troll face. She's just aching to put me in the ground. Eager's hands bunch into fists. She's still smiling, but you can feel the heat of hatred behind her eyes. You've got bigger issues to worry about than my face, Julie. If you don't start telling me what I'm going to hear in the next 30 seconds, it's going to get messy. Hold up, Eager. The engineer cuts you off. A perverse smile has spread itself across his face. You know, Eager? He takes time to pronounce the name, savors it. I'd like to tell you a story. We share so much history, you and I. She says nothing, but her eyes narrow. The engineer continues. His grin broadens. This is a funny story. It's a story about your time in the KSK. Story about futility. I can tell you all about the many lives you've touched, and how many syndicates touched them afterwards. Would you like that? There's a long pause. Her face turns to you. Pow, do me a favor. Sweep the building for intel, anything that might have missed on the way. I don't know if that's a great idea. It's necessary, Pow. She shoots a disgruntled face at your captive. I won't let this twisted guy chase me out of the room. He can tell me whatever story he likes. And I trust you to keep your cool. Don't worry about me, fearless leader. I've done this before. The one thing that this person has said that holds water, we're going to solve this on his word alone. No, of course not. I'm sure he'll eventually spill the name we're looking for, but it's buried in so much white noise that'll be impossible to filter out. If you can help with corroborating evidence, though, it might help us wade through the river of BS he's spewing. I can't tell you what to look for, but he was doing business with Ramok in this building. There must be something in here that tells us who he represents. I'm on it. Be quick. There's a dead person. Judging by the shape of the ganger's head, you'd guess that his skull is fractured in at least 3 places. It looks soft. All that looks gross. The man bashed his own head in trying to get out. He did it with a smile on his face. I'm gonna step away. I don't have biotech. Generic courier drones have snapped together out of prefab parts from a dozen different manufacturers. It's cheap, utilitarian thing. Remarkably, only that it's so incredibly plain, a half-bright teenager could cobble something together like this in an afternoon. You can see the silhouette of something underneath the flimsy plastic. Whatever this thing is here to deliver, it's still carrying it. We're gonna examine the drone closely. The closer you look, you notice something strange. There's a set of electrical contact plates lining the lip of the drone's cargo compartment. It's fair bet that this thing is outfitted with an anti-tampering system of some kind. Smash the plastic. Holding the drone steady with one hand, you shatter the flimsy plastic that protects the cargo with the other. The reaction is swift and violent. Within a fraction of a second, the air is filled with a loud hissing sound and the drone erupts in flames. The roaring hole in the undercarriage begins spilling out a hail of hot white sparks. Grab the compartment stuff. Reach in the hole that you smashed in the compartment's lid. The heat is unbearable and your body is showered with white sparks. Everywhere a spark touches you, it burns a neat pinhole through your clothing. The white hot lance of pain arcs through your body. In retrospect, that might not have been the best idea. You manage to pull your hand out of the drone and stumble back. The drone collapses, burying whatever itself in molten metal. Okay, wasted my time with that one. If anything, there's nothing in here at all. Oh, there's a ledger I didn't see. You guess it's Scandinavian in language. You can't read it. The arrangements of the text tell you the ledger is primarily be used as an address book. Pocket the book and move on. I'm gonna double check if anything is in here. Anything else? Nope. As you approach, you can see the engineer's chest is sheeted with blood. Most of it seems to be stemming from his nose, which was crushed in a wad of bloody meat. Igor turns to your face. Her bunched fists are dripping red. Find anything? Thought you weren't going to resort to torture. This isn't torture, it's justice. You knew half of what this guy has done. You'd hear the things he just told me. You'd do the same. Isn't justice? Stand down. Just tell me what you found. This journal. She leaves through the journal, quickly flipping the soy-casting pages. Norwegian, maybe? I'm thinking it's written in Bokmal. She frowns. I can't read it. It looks like a shipment manifesto. Yeah, there's something like that. There's a lot of addresses in there. She ruffles through the pages, flipping the cheap paper with her thumbnail. Looks like addresses all the way through. Some are annotated, but I can't see any names. 2/3 of the way through the book, she stops. Find something interesting? Wordlessly, she turns the journal around. At the top of the page, written in a different hand, it's a single word. It's written in English, but you can understand it all the same. Wednesday. She nods. Yeah, not particularly helpful without a full date, but I guess it's something. Of course, Wednesday might not refer to the day of the week. It could be code for something. Taking up contests like this, it's impossible to say. So what do you make of it? This should be good. She ignores him. It might be nothing, but it could be mean that he's back in the bed with the syndicate. We're gonna stay silent. Did you find anything else? I found a body in the other room. Interesting, but not unusual. Anything else? Self-destructed. Sound of your words, the engineer goes berserk, his eyes bulge, he thrashes his head back and forth. You imbecile, what have you done? What was the drone carrying, Yuli? Sounds like it was something important. It was mine, but for what it was, you'll never know, Slag. Igor looks you in the eye, desperation hangs over her wet like blanket. Was there anything else, Pow? Any other? I don't think so. She nods. Alright, fair enough. Judging by what you did find, the most likely bet is that Yuli is working for the syndicate, so I guess we'll have to go with that. You're wrong, Slag. I'll give you that much for free. Oh, shut it. A single smooth motion, Igor drags her knife from his sheath and buries it in the engineer's throat. He lets out a startled gurgle. The noise carries a long time. We weren't done with him. Yes, we were. Torture wasn't going to get us anywhere. In my experience, it seldom does. And this sack of person had it coming for years. He's done more than enough damage for one lifetime. That wasn't your call to make. Wrong, fearless leader. When it comes to the team, I'll follow your orders. But this wasn't the team's job. This was my op, and you elected to come along. So what do we propose to do now? Inform the F-State? First, we'll search the body. Who knows? Maybe we'll have some additional evidence on him. Or in him. We won't know till we're digging. I'll leave you to that. Get in there and help out. It's gross. The job is long and unpleasant, but eventually you find something, a hidden storage compartment in one of Igor's cyber arms. You activate it as his cyberware is. It takes some prying to open it, but Igor leans in with some muscle. Igor reaches in and pulls out a cylindrical object about the size of a beer can. She inspects it. A smile creeps across her face. Does that mean something to you? Yeah, actually, it's a pulse grenade. The last I heard, the Russian military were developing them as crowd dispersal devices, but that was years ago. Looks like Yuli kept a memento from his time in Spetsnaz. Looks like typical Russian engineering, clunky but functional. If I took this apart, I bet I could figure out how they made it. Anything else? She dips her hand in the secret compartment one more time. No, not that I can. Without warning, the cyber arm begins to twitch. His body bucks convulsively while his dead eyes stare straight ahead. What the? Engineer body surges forward, a violent compulsive motion. His eyes bulge out. His chest evaporates in a spray of light. You watch the chemical fire that rages from the engineer's body, blackens his flesh, and spits sparks across the room. The same reaction as you saw when the drone went up. A thermite reaction. Is it going to do this, people? Plant bombs in them? I don't know. I've seen them use cortex bombs and exotic poisons, but never a device like this. Doesn't mean that it isn't them, though. Come on, pal. Let's get out of here. We need to tell people about this. Cool. So we're gonna be done because there's just a bit too much for me today. A lot of reading. My voice is sore, so I think it's time to so I think it's time to just call it here. Just waiting for it to load back in. Okay. We're gonna save. So thank you so much for joining me today. Tomorrow I'll be streaming again, the continuation of this.
don't think I'll finish this tomorrow, but we'll see. If not, I'll finish it on a Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, because I believe Space and I will be streaming some more Stardew on Saturday. So thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the day, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow.